Well, it can become a vicious cycle. A person's unemployed, their credit rating suffers, they apply for a job, but then they're denied because now they've got bad credit. Well, one congressman wants to forbid credit checks by your potential employers. But critics say the government shouldn't be telling employers how they can run their businesses. Joining us now is Tennessee Congressman and Democrat Steve Cohen, the man behind the Equal Employment for All Act. Congressman, thanks for joining us today.
Good to be with you, Shannon.
How much of a problem is this in reality?
It's a tremendous problem. People who have poor credit scores oftentimes are thrown into a cycle because they've lost their job because of this economy, and their scores get worse. They don't get out of it, and studies show that credit scores don't reflect whether you'll be a good employee or not, or even whether you'll be trustworthy. So they don't really bring about the result or prove anything that the employer might be looking for, but they deny a lot of people a chance to get a better credit score by getting employment and getting income, and it turns into a vicious cycle. And it affects minorities, African Americans, Latinos, and women more than anybody else. In fact, the EEOC recently ruled that Kaplan University, using scores, has discriminated, not intentionally, but in effect, on African Americans and Latinos because they're more likely to have low credit scores, but it doesn't indicate any trustworthiness or effectiveness in an employment position.
In my former life, I used to practice labor and employment law, and I know that this was an issue that was very sensitive for employers because they felt like they wanted to have all the possible information they could before they hired someone, because a lot of times then companies have liability with those people as employees. And they had concerns that people who did have financial issues may be more prone to making other bad decisions. I mean, is that an unfair characterization? And should employers have the freedom to check out every possible thing they need to know before they hire somebody?
Well, I think they should certainly have freedoms, but on the other hand, when it has an effect, even if it's not an intent of discrimination, the EEOC can and has ruled that it's an unfair practice. And the fact is, studies have shown that it's not effective. Now, our bill exempts areas where you have to deal with FDIC institutions or where there's sensitive government documents, but potentially financial. And if somebody's maybe dealing with money, I can see it. But if it's not dealing with money, like a bank, or then I think that there's no proof that it is effective in ferreting out employees that are untrustworthy or going to be ineffective, and it just keeps people in this cycle. You know, minorities are less likely to have accumulated wealth to fall back upon in tough times when they lose jobs, and so many people have lost jobs because of the economy, not because of any fault of their own, not because they didn't perform well or try to do well. So people who've lost their jobs, have a bad credit rating, and are trying to get a job are least likely, I think, to steal because they want that job and they want to get their credit rating back. And that's what we're trying to do, is give people an equal opportunity. And